All right, fellas, we're recording in a couple of places, so let's. All right, welcome to Firefighting Today, the weekly roundtable where we do all sorts of things fire service related. Tonight, I'm very, very pleased we're going to have Shawn Bloemker with us. We're going to talk about the Max Firebox training prop, which is a great prop. So we're going to talk about that. First, let me introduce the panel tonight. Rob, say hello.
Good evening, everybody. Rob Fling, I'm the chief in the Dixil's Fire Department on Long Island and also the founder of Face Nissan.
All right, great. Shawn, say hello.
Hi, Shawn Bloemker, Max Fire Training, Max Firebox. So thanks for having me tonight, Chief Lamb. Greatly appreciate it.
All right, we're trying to get the message out. And last but never least, Joe Stein, say hello.
Good evening, Chief. Joe Starnes at Grove Volunteer Fire Department, co-manager of Project Kill the Fire. We're glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
All right, so with that, Shawn, why don't you just bring up your presentation and let's get started. The only message for the folks that might be watching us live on YouTube would be you can reach us if you tweet. If you send out a tweet at Pete Lamb, you should be able to reach us. All right, Shawn, you're good to go, I guess.
Awesome. Thank you, Chief. Greatly appreciate it. So Max Firebox, the main thing, our tagline for Max Firebox is we're empowering fire behavior education. People want to learn more about us, they can go to our website, maxfirebox.com. We also have Twitter and then Facebook, so a lot of information there on both sides. So everything's there. As far as myself, this is my wife, Amy. This is my son, Max. This is who I named the prop after. Family of three. I'm an assistant chief at the Godfrey Fire Protection District. It's a combination fire department and been there since 95. I started there as a volunteer firefighter in 95 and got hired career in 99. So September 6th, and it was a great day. It was a goal I've always had to get hired on a fire department, and I was very honored to work there. It's a great job, a great fire department. I used to teach for Lewis and Clark Community College in their fire science program, and then also for the Illinois Fire Service Institute. So as we look at everything, you know, I always think back to my first live burn. And whenever I think back to my first live burn, there was a large amount of firefighters, and we were placed into a small room. And I had a hard time hearing the instructor. I had a hard time hearing what the instructor was saying because the instructor was wearing the SCBA. Also, I was a little apprehensive about wearing my SCBA because, you know, I didn't have a large amount of training with it. And I really couldn't understand as far as what was going on as far as the fire behavior that was taking place inside the room. I also believe that, you know, after I got done with my first burn, it was straw and pallets that were burning. So I really think that just the straw and the pallets burning, it gave me a false sense of really understanding fire behavior. So moving on here, as we look at fire behavior training, got a picture of one of the books here. You know, out of over 1,500 pages, we have 52 pages that are dedicated to fire behavior. And whenever we look at fire behavior, often firefighters only receive the classroom training and nothing else. So maybe a short video, a little bit of classroom training, but there's just so much information, as you can see, that new firefighter has to have an understanding of whenever they're coming onto that fire department. In 2008, I developed a fire behavior and smoke class for the Illinois Fire Service Institute. And while teaching the class, during the classroom portion, I would burn candles. And while burning the candles, what I'd do is I'd blow the candle out and I'd ignite the smoke, showing the firefighters how it's the gases that are burning. Whenever we'd get done with the classroom presentation, what we'd do is we'd go outside and we'd burn in a wooden box. Whenever we'd burn in the wooden box, I had a hard time showing the fire behavior that I wanted to show because the joints would open up and it would allow too much air into the box, and I was unable to show the fire behavior that I wanted to show once we got done doing our classroom sessions. So I had a really hard time holding superheated fire gases in, and that's kind of why I started thinking about what could we do to make it better, and what type of fire behavior prop we could design to make it better for teaching fire behavior in a compartment. I've always believed that fire and smoke behavior training requires more than just classroom. I really believe that firefighters deserve live fire and smoke behavior training. I'm all for burn tower training. I think it's extremely, extremely important. Firefighters have to be good at stretching hose lines. They have to be good at forcible entry. They have to be good at, so, as we talk tonight, I want to make sure that I stress I totally believe in burn towers. I think they're wonderful and it's training that firefighters need. It's just very difficult to show some key elements of fire behavior inside the burn tower just because it's the straw and the pallets that are burning. So with all the things that we talked about, what I did is I've worked for years and we developed a patent pending Max Firebox. So this is a picture of the firebox here. What our goal was provide a compact, portable fire behavior prop to the fire service. And what we wanted to do is we wanted to empower fire behavior education. So we didn't want to just empower the firefighter, we also wanted to empower the instructor. We wanted to be able to have that instructor to be able to take their class out and show the definitions, not just memorizing definitions and showing pictures. We wanted to be able to have that interactive environment and be able to demonstrate different fire behavior terminology in a controlled environment where we can talk about it and go over some different things. So here we have our user's manual, and then we have our direction manual. The units, they come with a portable drive. On that portable drive, there's a train the trainer video, and then there's multiple classroom presentations that an instructor would be able to use whenever he's teaching his fire behavior. Right here, I'm holding the door. So that's the door we use to take the oxygen away from the fire. And the unit is portable. You can see the wheels on the back side. We'll show some more pictures here in a little bit. One of the biggest things that I wanted is I wanted that interactive learning environment. I wanted to be able to have the firefighters to see it, because I think that, whenever the firefighters are there and they're seeing it and it's a live demonstration, there's so much more than just reading it in the book or watching a video. All right, I talked about that interactive learning environment. So this is a great example. I think that as instructors and even as students, there's a lot that we have to compete against. There's a lot that we have to do. And as you can see, we have these 3 firefighters and they're using their phones. They're using their phones to record the rapid fire events taking place. So instead of the firefighters using their phones to send text messages or update their Facebook account or their Twitter, they're actually using their phones to record the fire behavior. This is a picture that was taken whenever we were out in Long Island with Chief Lane of the Big Hills Fire Department. So we were truly honored to be there, and it's a wonderful training day. And this shows the interaction that we're able to do whenever we're using this fire behavior prop. And then also over on the backside, you're going to see a thermal imaging camera. So it's also a prop that we can use for thermal imaging training and to show the different aspects of using the camera for using the prop. Any questions here, guys?
No, it looks good, Shawn. Looks good. Keep going. We're not getting anything on Twitter right at the moment. Again, for the folks listening, if you want to send a tweet at Pete Lamb, we can get your question involved in the process. So go ahead, Shawn.
Thank you. All right, this is another picture from one of the demonstrations we did. We went over to this demonstration for Jim Moss, the Metro West St. Louis County Fire Department. So one of the things that you can see here is the isolated flame up high. This is after we close the door and then we open the door. So we have that rapid fire event taking place, and then you can see the isolated flame up high igniting. Also, just like the last picture, we were showing how it's interactive fire behavior training. You can see the firefighter here with his phone out, and he's recording the rapid fire events taking place, which is, the whole goal of the prop is to get that interaction and get the firefighters out of the classroom and being able to witness fire events taking place. burns that we did went viral. We got 1.5 million views from a fire behavior demonstration we did at the Safer Convention out in Raleigh. So it was a great day, and a wonderful day for us there. This is another picture from whenever we were out in North Carolina. We met with instructor John Dixon. We were able to do multiple burns. Also, this is showing that interactive fire behavior. You can see the folks with their phones out, and we're showing how it's an interactive prop, and people are able to show the different sides of it. Over on the right side here, this was also at the Safer Convention. We were burning every half an hour on the hour, and we were showing how the different aspects of fire behavior to all the different groups of firefighters. We also went out and did a burn for Andy Starnes and the members of Station 2 out in Charlotte. It was a wonderful day for us. We were truly honored to be there. It was a great day to be able to do it. Joe was there also, and it was just a true honor to be able to burn for members of the Kill the Flashover and then Station 2 in Charlotte. Great day for us. There's another picture there. Andy got the camera out, so we were able to use the camera, show some different aspects of it. This was whenever we got done doing the burn and show some of the different sides of it. One of the things that Andy talked about whenever we did the demo was the smoke behavior. So Andy was really big on how good we were duplicating smoke behavior and show some different aspects of smoke behavior as far as the volume, velocity, density, color, and some different things. So this is a picture that really shows off the prop as far as showing some different aspects of smoke behavior. So this is where we're taking the door, we're removing the door, and you can see as far as the smoke behavior, some of the different aspects of smoke behavior you're able to do whenever you're using the prop. Also, igniting the smoke, we're able to show how smoke is fuel, how the smoke burns. You're able to see how far away we're igniting the smoke. We're using our propane torch here to ignite, and this is one of the things that, when the firefighters see how flammable the smoke is, it really is a good attention grabber, and it shows people how important it is to make sure that we're sizing up the smoke whenever we're on that scene.
Just a quick comment, Shawn, from the crowd there. Christine mentions that she's actually seen you do a couple of short demos when using the Periscope app. So that's a good point. You're out there not only in this venue, but in a bunch of different venues. So when you say interactive, it can actually go over the internet, just like what we're doing here tonight. So thank you, Christine, for that comment. Anybody else that has a note, you can live tweet us using the @PeteLam. Thanks.
Oh, thank you. And we have used Periscope a few times, and we have the YouTube, we have our Facebook, we have Twitter. So we're trying to get the product out there, get product recognition, and show people the importance of the product. So it's been a wonderful time for us. Another example here of showing some of the smoke behavior, and then showing how smoke is fueled, how the smoke burns. Show some different aspects here. So we have our propane there on the right-hand side, igniting the gases, showing how the smoke burns. And on the left-hand side is a good picture to show that smoke behavior and what we're able to teach you. Moving on here, we are able to show that fire from the ceiling all the way down to the floor. So when we look at our burn tower training that I was talking about when I first started, I'm able to show that ignition and the growth, and then some thermal layering, to where with the prop I'm able to show the fire, that fire from the ceiling all the way down to the floor is something that we want to be watching for, we want to be looking at, and we want to be able to train our firefighters recognizing the rapid fire behavior that's taking place. Over on the right-hand side, our picture, this is we have a little bit of an overhang on the prop here, and what that overhang allows us to do is track the gases. So we're able to show the flammable limits. We're able to show whether it's too rich or whether it's too lean for it to burn. So there's a great flammable limits as far as fire behavior. Thermal imaging, that's another key aspect of, when we want to train firefighters, we want to make sure that our firefighters are using the cameras, they're sizing it up. You're able to see a large amount of, on the left-hand side here, this was a burn we did up in Carlinville, Illinois, and what we were doing is we were trapping the fire gases, we were closing the door, and then we would open the door, and we'd be able to see how fast the smoke was traveling, be able to look at some different temperatures, and it really hit home to the firefighters there at the training why it's so important that they size it up and they're looking at the smoke and they're seeing where that may be an ignitable mixture and whether or not they should be using the stream to cool it before they make entry. So I know that the folks that killed the flashover had talked about the go or no go and how important it is that the firefighters are sizing up that scene so you're able to use the camera to show different aspects of fire behavior, smoke behavior, and important things. Over here on the right-hand side, this is another picture whenever we're at the Dix Hills Fire Department. So you can see the fellows here using the thermal camera, checking some different temperatures and things like that. We were also able to go out to New Haven. We did a burn for Frank Ritchie, and they had 45 people in their probationary class. We were totally honored to be there to get the prop in front of Frank Ritchie and then the probationary members of the New Haven Fire Department. We did 3 burns there, so it was a great day for us. We recently shipped their unit, so looking forward to them receiving their unit and starting to use it for fire behavior training and smoke behavior training. Got a couple of other pictures here. Another picture from Dix Hills whenever we're out there with Chief Flame. Chief Flame here, he's showing some door control techniques and some water application. So we're able to show how, if we control the oxygen to the fire, we can control the fire. And then on the left-hand side over here, we're showing some of the different smoke behavior characteristics that we're able to show with the prop.
Hey, Shawn, just a quick one, a little testimonial from Scott Rogers. It says CFD. I'm not sure where that is, but Scott Rogers says we do have the Max Firebox. It is a great tool to provide transitions between the classroom and live fire training ground. So it's kind of a testimonial for you.
Scott Rogers is from the Carlinville Fire Department. And, truly honored that they purchased, and we've been up there a couple of times to a burn with them. And, it's been a wonderful thing as far as their firefighters being trained and seeing the smoke behavior and the fire behavior. So we got a picture of their department coming up as far as them even doing a burn. So looking forward to showing it. All right, so you're speaking of Carlinville. Here we go. So this is the slide from the Carlinville Fire Department. And I don't know if Scott Rogers is still listening, but I want to highlight Captain Lovelace here. So Captain Lovelace has been on the fire department for 48 years. Great guy, and he's all in on the Max Firebox. He's talking about how important it is that their firefighters are trained in using the Max Firebox. They're able to recognize the fire behavior aspects taking place whenever they arrive on the scene, and he's all in. And just it's a wonderful thing for somebody that's been on the fire department for 48 years to see the value in a product that you developed. So truly honored. So this is the Carlinville Fire Department's training officer, John Schott. My hats off to John Schott because here recently we were doing a training session at a burn tower. We had multiple questions for the students from his fire department, and the guys on his fire department were just right on whenever it came to answering the questions when it came to fire behavior. And I asked them, I was like, well, how did you guys, where did you get the knowledge as far as all these different definitions? Because they were just rattling off the key terms. And they told me that their training officer, John Schott, was burned for with the Max Firebox. So it's just a huge delight and it's a wonderful thing to hear. Showing that rollover, showing that thermal linearity, so important for the firefighters to understand. And then over on the left-hand side, showing the water application, some of the different things that we can do. So just some different pictures there. So. Moving on, additional water application.
Hey, Shawn, just hang on one second. Can you go to your, move your mouse on screen and go down to your microphone control? Are you still set maybe on your headset? because your voice sounds a little bit distant. So mouse just up onto that main window, and you should see a mic at the bottom with an arrow, an up arrow. Make sure you, if you're not going to use your headset, choose your built-in mic on your laptop or something.
Okay, I tell you what, I'll go back to my headset. That way you don't have a hard time hearing.
And for the folks at home, we're just trying to give you the best audio we can. We were struggling there a little bit, so we're going to go back to that if we can. Give me just a quick one, Shawn.
All right, is that better?
Yeah, it's much better. Thank you.
Okay, sorry about that. Water application. We're able to use the props for water application, showing different aspects of water application. And, what we can do is we're able to show proper water application and then some wrong techniques as far as water application. This next picture is a great example of that. We're putting weight on the right-hand side of the screen. We're putting way too much water into the atmosphere. And what we're able to do is we're able to show that thermal imbalance. So before we take people into the burn tower, we're able to show some different water application techniques and show why it's important that we make sure we have the proper setting and we're applying our streams the proper way also. Moving on, this is a unit that we created. You can see how we created here. So I believe that this is a unit that went down to Texas. So it's a 24 wood bundle package. There's 3 wood bundles in each box. So it shows how the box is portable, but it shows how we create the units whenever we're shipping them off.
Just another quick comment from John Schott. John Schott is a user of the product, and John says that it's one of the greatest things that's happened to his department. So just another one coming in through Twitter.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's a wonderful thing. Wonderful thing. It just shows the unit being created, so how we ship it as far as when the department purchases. So the crate that's built for it. And also, if a department wanted to purchase a pallet of wood, it would be 81 wood bundles. So they could also purchase a crate of wood. We talked a little bit earlier about our user's guide. So our user's guide's laminated, and it's designed that if an instructor is getting ready to go out to the field and he wanted to review a few key definitions, he's able to go through the user's guides, review them definitions prior to his burn. So in the back here, you can see how our wood is packaged. So it's wrapped in plastic. The idea of that is if it started to rain, we want to make sure that your wood doesn't get wet. The wood also comes with a little plastic 2-inch firefighter to show as far as the importance of where you are in the aspects of that fire. Got another picture here of Chief Fling. This is from whenever we were out in Long Island. So showing some different water application techniques on the left side. Using the prop. We also had the honor, the privilege to burn for Brian from Modern Fire Behavior, Penn Township in Indiana. So it was a great day for us there also. So truly honored to be there. This is the department that purchased down in Texas, and testimonial there. So we're totally honored that he purchased and his department purchased, and it's been a great prop for them, and they've enjoyed using it. So one of our recent demos, we just got done doing a training session in Wentzville, Missouri. So this is also on our Facebook page. So it talked about how good the demo was, and I was really proud to see that they feel that it's a game changer for training in the fire service. So really wonderful comments there from a captain in Wentzville Fire Department. We've been all over. We've been out there trying to spread the message, spread the love, and show the need for the product and show why it's important that we get the product out. This is here, I think 2 weeks ago, we were in Glen Carbon, Illinois, and we did a demo for their fire department. So, and this right here, this is one of the firefighters, and this is what makes me extremely proud. Whenever I see that it's a great way to understand fire behavior and recommend to all firefighters across the world, especially whenever I see that this will save a firefighter's life. That's something that I just the pride that I have whenever I see the comments like this are just totally extraordinary. Whenever we designed the unit, wanted to make sure that it was portable. So I'm getting ready to take a road trip here. You can see how everything fits in the back of my truck. I do have the pull-out slide case, but you know, it is a portable unit. You're able to see it. I didn't talk about the feet, but right here, the feet are adjustable. So the wheels, and on the back side, you have the handle, and there's your doors. So I'm just showing the portability. I thought that a fire department that does public education, they may go from fire department, from fire station to fire station, or they may have public education events. I thought it'd be a good prop for teaching fire behavior as far as the public education side also. This is a road trip we're getting ready to do. We're getting ready to go to the Farmers Branch Fire Department in Texas. So we're doing that November 23rd. So we're really excited and looking forward to showing the Farmers Branch Fire Department the Max Firebox. So that's, our presentation. Just wanted to get the product out there, and, can't thank you enough, Chief Lamb, for giving us the opportunity to show it off.
All right, why don't you come off screen share and let's just chat a minute. I'd like to hear a little bit. Let's wait for Shawn to get off screen share. Hey, Rob, so you actually had the demo, you saw it. What's the benefit? You're a chief in a volunteer organization. Tell us a little bit about your experience, if you don't mind, Rob.
It's a fantastic piece of equipment. It really is. The way you can mimic some of this fire behavior where students can see it firsthand. I mean, if you saw in the background there, I don't know if you can see it, but we have our own training building, and we do live burns on a continuous basis. Just like Shawn said, it's hay and pallets. You can't recreate some of the things in a training building during a 1403 burn that you can recreate with the Max Firebox. And you can gather a group of people around, and you can do it on and on and on. Somebody misses it the first time, recreate it 30 seconds later. The other thing that really impressed me is how well that thing's built. It took two of us to put the box up on top of that thing. That thing is meant to last for years. You're not going to burn that thing 5 or 6 times and it's going to start to bend on you, trust me.
Yeah. Question came in from the crowd. Let me see if I can get this out there. The question was from Scott Rogers. I'll take a crack at it first, and then I'll give it back to you, Shawn. But the question, you mentioned public education. What's the idea? How could it be used in public education? He references, would it be the idea of shutting the door or whatever? I just think shutting the door, fire travel, the speed, all of those things I think are good points. But what were you thinking about, Shawn, when you said it?
Yeah, you're hitting it right there. The speed at which the fire travels. And then while I was developing the prop, I've had multiple neighbors over, and the public is clueless when it comes to fire behavior. When you're able to show how fast the fire moves, the smoke, the majority of the public has no idea that the smoke is a gas and that it's flammable. So, it's a big wow factor for the public. I know a lot of departments, when they do their public education events, they build this big elaborate house, which I know takes a large amount of time, a large amount of man hours, which is it's wonderful. It's wonderful to show the public, but also we can take that to a smaller scale and show that fire behavior, show why it's so important that we have a smoke detector because of how fast that smoke can travel throughout that structure, and why it's important that we do close the door whenever we are leaving. So my neighbors, they're just had no understanding of fire behavior or smoke behavior. So just multiple aspects as far as the public education side of it.
Yeah, and obviously a guy like Rob Fling or something, we just toss one of our toxi-ray meters out there and get it close to the product and show a cyanide production, and the public would really get the toxicity of the smoke and what have you. So I go back to an old public education video back, I think in the 70s, called Plan to Get Out Alive. And it had 4 points about fire, and that was the darkness, the speed of travel, the extreme temperature, and the toxicity. And you know what? I've never forgotten those things. And I think you're absolutely right. The public really does not know much about those factors at all. Any other comments or questions? Joe, from your standpoint, you saw the demo. Anything you've got to comment about any of that?
I just say ditto to what I've heard. And secondly, let me just say from a standpoint of, I think it's the first well-built, well-designed alternative to classroom fire science demonstration in my history.
Wow. Wow, that's pretty good, because you were not there when fire was invented. Is that true, Joe? You were off that night?
I had went down to the bar.
For the listeners, they know Joe and I tease one another on occasion, but that's a pretty strong statement. And Joe and I were talking earlier from an academy standpoint. You know, this is much cheaper than buying a flashover. I mean, you buy a flashover container, you're $75,000, $80,000 on a trailer. I mean, you can spend some serious money. I'm not saying that you could put firefighters inside in any situation, but this certainly is a great low-cost alternative. And if your department can't afford it, I bet you the 3 departments around you can afford it. I bet you could, just a joint purchase and move this thing from station to station. So great training prop, certainly. And we've got a lot of testimonials here tonight that really speak to that.
Every probe you should see that box being used.
Wow. Good. Good.
It's that the fire behavior and smoke behavior is that important especially now. What's in the buildings.
Chief Lee, I asked a question a while back on a picture of a candle or a glass over a candle. It's been done 1,000 times in the classroom. I asked several firefighters, I said, how many times have you used this to put out a fire? They said never. All right. We're not translating what's going on in that fire science class to the street and to the nozzle. I think that firebox comes as close to doing that as I've seen at this point. The other thing is, Shawn, you might want to comment on this, because you and I've talked a little bit in the past. How much has your presentation grown since you first started? Talk about the evolution of what you've talked about. Is that a decent question? Does it make sense to you? When you first started talking about the fire science, now you've expanded it. You're looking at different things that are connected to the fire ground. For the first time, you're not going to do a candle demonstration in a classroom and connect the thermal imager to it very well. You're doing that now. And so it is connecting to the fire ground, and your presentation has become more and more connected to the fire ground each and every day, I think.
The most beneficial thing is the more departments, whenever I go and I do training, I learn. I learn so much from the different departments. If it wasn't for Chief Fling showing some of the different door control techniques, I learned so much. Whenever I was in Charlotte, I was with Andy Starnes. I mean, I learned so much as far as the thermal imaging camera. So every time I'm out doing a training session, I'm learning from that fire department. So it's a wonderful thing. I mean, it's grown from every burn that I've done. And then from talking to the students and talking to, the leaders of the fire service that are saying, hey, try this. So there's so much, and it gets better every time, thanks to the members of the fire service.
You provide the customer with your book to help instruct with the prop, right?
Yes, sir. We have the user's guide, and what the user's guide is it's laminated, and what it is some short definitions that they're able to define while they're using it. But also what we do is I wanted to make sure that no matter who purchased the box, they were going to be extremely successful with it. So that's why we put a portable drive with it that shows it's me taking you through a burn, showing you how to load it the proper way, showing you some of the different key definitions while you're using the product. So that's some of the different aspects that we did to make sure that end user would be successful with it.
And you use engineered wood so the box doesn't leak. It burns the same way every time.
Oh, and that was key. We wanted to make sure that we had the engineered fuel load, that we would be able to duplicate the fire behavior over and over and over. And that's one of the, with the wooden box, whenever I was doing classes for the Illinois Fire Service Institute, I'd burn with a wooden box. If I was lucky, I'd be able to show a few of the definitions that I wanted to show. But unfortunately, when the joints would open up, I wouldn't be able to hit them key definitions. But now, how we're able to track the gases, we have the engineered fuel load. I mean, the fuel load is perfect to show multiple rapid fire, and it's not just fire, but rapid smoke behavior events also. So, thanks to that engineered fuel load, we're right where we need to be as far as providing that quality product to the fire service.
Yeah, comment from the folks listening. John Schott, we were talking about the public education, and he says that he was actually he's actually going to do something with his local law enforcement. So he's going to do something with local police department. And, you're talking about the engineered fuel package, Shawn, I'll tell you what, when you can get me just a little tiny couch about this big to put that, I think we'll have something when you get that stuffed furniture in there,
And, whenever we are burning, we do put a small piece of carpet in it, and we put that 2-inch firefighter. So that 2-inch firefighter comes with the fuel load whenever it's packaged, and you're able to see that off-gassing. You're able to see it get closer and closer to its ignition temperature. But then also what we always stress is that's where the firefighter is going to be. They're going to be at that floor level, so they have to be recognizing that rapid smoke behavior and the fire behavior that's taking place. And then, you're talking about the police officer doing this training for your police officers. How valuable would that be to show your police officers how important it is that they don't pop all the windows out of the house or leave the front door wide open? So that public education side, as far as the police officer, is so important. And that's why also, if a department is going to be using it to teach their police department, instead of a little 2-inch plastic firefighter, I have a 2-inch plastic police officer that I'll send with their fuel load.
Yeah, absolutely. Good stuff. Anything else we got for Shawn? As we got, we lost some audio. Someone in the audience is saying we lost audio there out to the YouTube stream, but it has now come back. So I'm not exactly sure what happened to that, but I will acknowledge it in case any of you watching had a technical problem. We have that. Another one is coming in right now, and that is how you can demonstrate the flammability of fuel. So how that fuel ignites or what have you. And that comes from Christine. Thank you for sharing, Christine, about how that fuel ignites. I think Rob makes the point of absolutely, we say it, but we've got to educate our young firefighters so that they don't behave like all of us on the panel have behaved in the past. So, hopefully that's a positive step. What else do we have left before we begin to wrap up?
Just one correction for the old geezer. That is misbehave, not behave.
Good point. Yeah, good point. That's right. Bad syntax on my part. Misbehave like us. So, anything else, Rob? Any final comment from you?
No, I'm good. I have to tell you, when you order one of the boxes from Shawn, make sure you get plenty of wood, because as more of a training tool, it's fun to use. You're going to be burning it a lot. I had a good time that day. Thank you very much for coming out, Shawn.
Great. All right. With that, I think we're going to pull the plug. I'd ask you folks on the panel to stay connected. We will see the folks again. Look for our broadcast. I would appreciate any of the listeners, if you don't mind sending me a tweet. We're experimenting with technology tonight. Is it good, bad, better, worse, different? If you wouldn't mind just sending that over to me, I would appreciate knowing that. So let me stop the broadcast. We'll see you next week.